to Rogers Rulez, the only place where I can really decide what we do. You know, I just got married, and now I know that I don't have the upper hand in anything ever again. And so I'm starting to find my place, and I need my outlet, so I come here to join you guys during your lunch break. Thanks for joining us. David Schumacher joining us today. Skomaker, Mocker, who cares? It's one of the three. And Kahm Broham is down below as well. David, I don't ever say your last name, and I guarantee I just butchered it.
Oh, yeah, you definitely did. And it's not uncommon. People have Schumacher. I'm a Schumacher.
Are you?
That is a common misconception, but yeah, Schumacher.
So the reason I
shoes, if you will.
Yeah, and you know what? I like to mock David a little bit. You know, he's very mellow. He's got like some sort of swag to his just his everyday life. I mean, the shirts that he wears are pretty unique. He goes to some vintage store, shops a lot. I'm no free plugs. No free plugs. But David, how many shirts do you own that are unique to you and no one else?
Probably quite a few. I pride myself on having a shirt for every occasion. It's all Nebraska stuff. Like, I'm a graphic tee guy. I probably have a problem with getting stuff that doesn't have some sort of graphic on it. My girlfriend gets mad at me all the time for not having nice clothes to wear. It's always going to probably be something like this. I don't know, man. It's something about vintage clothing. It was just cooler back then.
I didn't even know you had a girlfriend. What's your love life like?
I don't think we need to get into that part of this.
Oh no, you don't want to dive.
Rules. He makes
I do make the rules here.
Yeah. Oh,
Does anybody else know? Hey, does anybody else know you have a girlfriend?
Since high school, so it's probably pretty dull at this point, huh?
So why don't you ever talk about her? Are you embarrassed?
No, she's wonderful. I love you, sweetie.
He sounded so sure about that.
Yeah, no, Rachel's her name. She's great. Yeah, we met each other in high school.
See, David's one of those guys that he's so mysterious that you find all these hidden gems the further you dig. So even when he's out and about with his buddies, you know, he lives with 4 college friends. I don't know. I made up that number, but it could be 4.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So he lives with a good amount of college buddies. And if he went out with those buddies, he's been taken for a long period of time, but nobody would ever know that he's taken unless they really got into conversation with David. Like that's the type of man David is.
Yeah, I try to go out. You know, I have, I guess, like you said before, mysterious.
You're a very mysterious individual.
That's the word you use.
You could pass as somebody that started Knives Out.
I have not seen that movie.
Not a Captain America fan.
I do like Captain America.
Yeah, good old Steve Rogers is in that movie,
isn't it? What is it?
It's a mystery. It's like a comedy and a mystery. Okay. So just combine the two, and you get something magical.
I guess I have to watch it now.
It's a comstory. Yeah,
comstory.
But it fits your personality.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I try to open up. I guess I haven't opened up enough to you, so that's why I'm here, right?
No, you're here for a lot of other reasons, and we'll get into that right now. Because when I first met David, it was funny. We were at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill watching March Madness, and my first interaction with him was talking about betting and brackets. So that's what gravitated myself, or that's how I gravitated myself toward David and what he was throwing down. And I'm telling him about different things I have played that day, and he's just kind of nodding along, and he tells me a few things. But again, his mysterious vibe doesn't tell me everything. So we're watching the first game of the day. It's right after I get off the radio show. I'm tired. I've been up since 5. David shows up. He looks like $1 million. I'm like, what does he know that I don't? Apparently a lot, because Furman and Virginia had this neck and neck battle going on. I'm rooting for Virginia. I had them in most brackets. I needed that to advance and not find myself in a pool of misery like a lot of other people that built brackets that year. And sure enough, Virginia has it locked down late in the game, although they decide to just huck the ball to half court because why not? Try to get rid of it, kill the clock, turnover. Furman comes back down, hits a three with like 0.2 seconds left. I don't know if it was a buzzer beater or if Virginia just didn't have a chance, but it basically ended just like that. And David, no celebration, nothing. Maybe a little fist bump by his waist. I didn't see too much, not enough to be excessive. He wouldn't have a flag thrown on him in the NFL, the No Fun League. And I'm kind of just talking with him more and more, and he's getting a little happier and happier. And I'm like, what? Like, what happened for you? Like, we should all be mad at this moment. Our brackets are busted. David's like, yeah, I had $50 on Furman. I'm like, $50 on Furman? You're the worst friend. You don't tell anybody your place.
Hey, man.
You keep all the good stuff for yourself.
I think I had a little bit more of a celebration than just a fist bump.
I don't think so. If I remember correctly, and I have a pretty good memory, it was just like a subtle this, and he may have flipped me the bird, Cam. I don't know. It was something outrageous.
That's possible. Yeah, that one. That's probably going to go down as one of the all-timers.
What was the payout? Right, like $450, something like that.
Yeah, it was about $400. That was. I'm trying to remember that game too. Like what it was. I'm trying to remember what the call was. Like they're like, what are they doing? What the heck are they doing? Because it was like a weird pass.
Cam, insert the call. Insert the call.
Yeah, it was nuts. I don't even remember what the heck was going on. Yeah, like, Furman's going to win the basketball game. Buzzer beater, right? Yeah.
My guy, it's not the Auburn football call. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Auburn's going to win the football game or basketball game. Yeah. Oh shit. That's a good one. That one's going to definitely be one of my favorites all time. I rewatched that game before this year, trying to bring back some of that magic, but it did not happen this year.
That was your one shining moment.
That was the one time I actually won money in March Madness. But
yeah, I can't say that I've won a lot just at all in my betting career, but that's why we do it, right?
Yeah,
we do it.
Yeah. You get that little adrenaline rush, and then you're up. You win $20, and then you're down 200. But guess what? Plus 20 is pretty damn good.
It felt good to hit that Twins money line last night, but those 17 parlays I've crafted in the last 3 days that put me down 150. I was thinking about this from the NHL playoffs when the Canucks and the Oilers were going at it. Brock Besser, hat trick in the first period. David, you're sitting in the front row. Put yourself in this situation for me. You're sitting in the front row. You're not a fan of either team in situation one.
Okay.
You are a fan of the Canucks in situation two. Both have the same outcome. Brock Besser, first period hat trick. Are you throwing your hat?
I think you have to, right?
That hat you're wearing could be a $30, $40 hat. You may really like that. Are you willing to give it up just to say you threw a hat on the ice?
Okay. I think I'm more willing to destroy some sort of article of clothing if I'm upset versus happy.
So you're saying if you're an Edmonton fan, you would chuck the hat on the ice just in spite of what happened, but then you'd be supporting what just happened.
Okay. In this situation, yeah, I'm not throwing the hat. I'm not throwing the hat.
See, I don't think I could throw my hat either. And then, Cam, I don't know about you, but the hats that I wear are hats that I like. I'm not going to a game wearing a hat I don't like just in case a hat trick takes place because it may not match the fit or, I just don't really own a lot of raggedy hats. So I'm not going to throw my prospects hat onto the ice. How many people have a hat with red corn? How many people have this hat, David? Not many.
Nobody.
And it's not from the vintage store either. I'm not that unique, Cam. But I'm not throwing a $40 hat on the ice. It's just not me.
I have two hats. So I'm definitely not throwing. I wear a hat every day. This is what I look like every time I go out in public. So I can't get rid of a hat. It's not happening.
I own too many hats.
See, yeah, I do own a lot of hats.
I wear two.
Yeah. I own a lot of hats too. I just don't know. I don't have a good reason for hucking it on the ice. I mean, am I 10 beers deep and I accidentally forget that I'm not who I say I am today?
Yeah, what would be the nine beers, 9 hot dogs equivalent of a hockey game? What do you?
Do you do one every 5 minutes?
That's probably
10 minutes?
Yeah.
I mean, it's 3 periods. 5 minutes may be more than that 9 number, but you can't do the 10-minute mark either because now you're only looking at 6 for the entire game, unless you get into overtime, and then you can factor that in.
Well, how are they the big beers? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Okay,
I'm drinking if I'm at the game. We know that.
Yeah.
We can at least say that. How many am I having? That's a different question.
All right. Well, maybe we can think on that. We can come up with a hockey.
Now, okay, so hockey is one thing. You throw the hat if you want to. That's just not me. In baseball, do you throw a home run back if it is your rival team hitting a ball to you in the stands?
I'm not touching that ball.
You're not even getting in its way? What if it rolls to your feet?
If it's going to hit me in the head, I think maybe a hand goes up to block it, but I'm not going to try to catch that ball.
Yeah, that's how most people catch balls. If it's coming at your face, you put your hand in front of it.
Okay. All right, now, yeah. All right, move on.
Next question.
Insulting me now.
So you're not throwing the ball back though if you have it?
No, probably not.
Now here's how I'm going to set it down, because I wouldn't throw a ball back either. How many times do you get a ball hit to you when you're at a baseball game? And also, people are like vultures when that ball hits the seats. You're pushing kids out of the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the small children. That's where it comes to coming. If you got the arm length, you go just throw these kids aside. I don't even know the last time I caught him. Actually, I did. UNO Nebraska last year.
You caught a ball?
Shooting photo. Yep, right over top of me.
And you stuck your hand up and caught it?
Yep, I did catch it. I didn't. Yeah, I actually had to use my hand to catch it. I didn't just absorb it.
So you're just a big fat liar.
You asked me if it was a rival ball.
Who cares what type of ball it is? I said if it's a rival baseball, do you throw it back? You're not throwing back your team's home run.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I know I'm right.
Okay. All right. Cool, bud.
All right, now let's take it to the college football stage.
Yep.
It's Iowa, Nebraska. Middle of the game, not the end of the game, middle of the game, because who knows what you're doing at the end of the game. This is 2 years ago because we're not putting things into the air. We're not putting bad energy into the air. This is 2 years ago.
Yeah, we can't speak that.
Maybe it was 3 years ago when Keith Duncan hit that game winner at Memorial Stadium. Whichever one it was, bring that memory back. I know you didn't want to. You were blocking it. Dig it up. You're in that moment where Keith Duncan kicks a field goal. You're in the stands. You're on the back half of the stands.
Yeah.
You catch the football. Okay? It goes over the net somehow. You catch it. You don't have to give it back because there's no way anybody's going to find you in that sea of red. Are you throwing that football back?
I think you run away with it.
You're running away with a Keith Duncan game-winning football.
See, now you're making me feel bad because, you want the guy to have the ball, right?
No, I don't want Keith Duncan to have anything. I'm just wondering if you can live with yourself holding on to a piece of Iowa history.
Yeah, I think I can live. But okay. What do I run away with it and then pop it in the alley or something like that? I mean, you're not giving the ball back. I think if I don't grab it and the ball's on the ground, people are just going to start throwing that thing around. I think someone's going to destroy it, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to make its way back to the field.
So you're keeping that thing?
Keeping the thing, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I could keep that thing. If Cody Parkey's double doink ended up landing in my lap, there's no way I'm keeping that.
Oh, you got to keep that.
Screw that.
That's money.
I live
You could
that.
sell that.
I live that every day, Cam. I think I wake up and my alarm is dunk, 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 and I have to turn it off so I get out of bed.
It's not Law and Order. It's the double doink.
Yeah, it's the double doink. Yeah.
Dun-dun.
So the reason I ask you all these things, David, and the reason I landed the plane at Nebraska is because this has been your life from existence, right? Maybe even before. You grew up in a Nebraska family, if I can remember that correctly.
Sure did.
And you haven't really lived a good, happy, powerful fan life.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form, across the board. Yeah. If I can stamp that
Yep, you
logo
can say
down
that.
too. So take me through what it's been like being a Nebraska fan for the last 24 years.
Yeah. Early on, Big 12 days, I don't really remember the Big 12 that much. I mean, that's when I was, up until, 12 years old. So it's not really in my mind. Like, I have the memory of my dad just being furious in 2009, with Kyle McCord and all that. That part of my memory is not vivid. Oh,
No. I'm giving you the Texas one.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
I'm giving you the Texas one.
Yeah, 1 second. I barely remember that, but I get mad about it now anyway because I have been told many times what happened. I've seen it, but I cannot. Yeah, I don't have a real memory of that. So that part of me it's back here, but it's not really prevalent in my head. Get to the Big Ten, man. Yeah, now it's pain and suffering time, right? So 70, whatever the heck, Wisconsin, 77 points or whatever they scored on Nebraska, that one Big Ten championship.
It was a lot.
Ever
96.
since then, ever since then, we had the one little blurb of Mike Riley where still Kirk Herbstreit saying Nebraska's a paper tiger turned out to be true. That was probably getting up there for happiness. Then now what? Now it's down here, right back down, and we're kind of at this plateau now where you kind of don't have an expectation anymore. And that, it feels pretty good. It feels pretty good to start a year with not building up like this, but I don't know, man. Something's different about this year.
See, that's where I was going to get you because you said you're starting to plateau out, but you can't ever call this year a no expectation year because there hasn't been a year with this much anticipation.
Yeah.
At all.
I don't. It's crazy. I don't know how many times I've just been hurt, and now it's hard not to this year. But I still tell you though, I'm trying to be a lot more calm than I was in years past because there's the curse. The curse was lifted apparently, but there's a curse on this program.
So tell me this though, because for me, my Nebraska fandom is really, I would say I'm a sophomore in my Nebraska fandom.
Yep.
For you are class of 76 Nebraska fandom at this point. I'm looking at this season and thinking, okay, like I haven't experienced a curse. I know there was a curse that previously existed. I'm not saying you need a savior in Dylan Raiola, but it seems as though Matt Rule is technically this program's savior.
Yeah.
And Dylan Raiola is getting credit for that because Nebraska hasn't had a quarterback like him since, and I'm not even going to label. It's been a long time since you've had a quarterback,
if ever,
that embodies what Dylan Raiola embodies. But Matt Rule has to be looked at as the savior of this program, right?
Yes.
When they hired Matt Rule, would you say your expectationless mindset grew in expectation?
Yeah, when he was hired, I knew who he was. I didn't follow him a whole lot when at Temple. I wasn't totally aware. Baylor, I was a lot more familiar with that turnaround. I mean, everybody was talking about that guy, Carolina. He gets hired. It's like, yeah, it seems like this is the guy they wanted because it felt like they could pretty much get anybody they wanted at that point in time, just about. And it's like, okay, this is the guy. And then after you hear him talk, just the way he talks, you're like, this is the son of a preacher, and he is preaching to you. And he says everything right. But I do know what you're saying. Yeah, it's like, he's kind of the leader, and you have his first general guy, Raiola, this talent that's coming in. He's kind of the second wave of.
I missed that last part. Cut out on me.
Yeah, he's just coming in, and he's kind of like that backup, guy of this is the second wave of Matt Rule's plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as I think about it, as a Bears fan, we have had our ups and downs more than Nebraska has had ups, but we're kind of going into similar situations this year.
Yeah.
You're all in on one quarterback.
Yep.
Caleb Williams for the Bears, Dylan Raiola for Nebraska. Matt Rule's been at Nebraska for some good time now to where he's laid some brick. Matt Eberflus, although I don't think he's anywhere close to Matt Rule, has laid some sort of foundation, but I would consider what Ryan Poles has done in the GM chair to be better than, say, what Texas A&M's new what's his position?
Man.
Yeah, little man, as David likes to call him. It seems as though both organizations, I think is a better way to say it than like program and organization, are kind of on the same track record. But I'm still living a miserable lifestyle because it hasn't been a lot of wins lately for either side. So I'm curious for both of you guys. Now, I've looked at Reddit, and Reddit is a cesspool for information. Some really bad, others like really intriguing. I'm not saying like we're knee deep Kendrick Drake right now in my Reddit thread, but I'm looking at the absolute 4 worst fan bases. I'm seeing some Detroit Lions on here, and this person says my ex loves them, so I won't miss a chance to be petty and saying that they suck. Like these are the comments I live for, things like that. The Coyotes, who are now going to be in Utah, which I think is pretty accurate at this point. I see some Jags on here, but I'm not really understanding that too much. I would probably consider Dallas to be more of a miserable fan base because of their lack of their inability to go far.
Irrelevance.
Yeah, and they are a little irrelevant. But for you guys, if you were claiming there's 4 major sports, right? Basketball, baseball, hockey, and football. What are the worst or most miserable fan bases in those sports?
Yeah, man. I mean, oh gosh, like just out of pure sadness. Oh, that's tough. Yeah.
David can really relate, so I really wanted to get.
I'm trying to find somebody that's on my level here. Gosh.
I mean, the Falcons have to be.
The Falcons, they suck.
Yeah, they got Kirk Cousins, and they just drafted Michael Penix 8th overall for whatever reason. But I mean, that 28-3 loss has been haunting them forever.
That's never going to go away.
Ever.
Never. That's going to be
So I don't know when they're going to get out of that rabbit hole.
You couldn't find. Yeah, it's probably hard to find somebody that follows the NBA less than me. I don't follow the NBA, professional basketball.
Well, Cam's down here.
Yeah, I'm here too, guys. Don't forget about me.
At all. I don't know, man. Football. I'm trying.
What about the Jets? Somebody go ask Mike Sauter what it's like.
Yeah, I wish Mike was here right now. I could grab him, but he seems to be. I think he's kind of in this wave now. Yeah, these past 2 years, he's like, oh yeah, and then nope. So that's actually a pretty similar thing for Nebraska. I feel like.
I would throw out the Raiders.
Ooh, good one.
Because I'm a Chiefs fan and I'm born to hate those guys.
Yeah.
That's a good one. And relocating had some issues.
Almost being cool and then just really not doing well.
What's up with their owner's hair?
Oh, that guy.
That's cool. He's cool.
You like him? I like
the hairstyle. No, it's funny.
You want to get in with Mark Davis?
Yeah, that's a sweet hairstyle, man. I wish I could rock that.
Is he wearing a wig? The more I look at it, the more I think he's wearing a wig.
It's like, how did a potato become an owner of the NFL franchise?
He's like Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah.
He's the ginger Mr. Potato Head.
He's the yam.
Yeah, he is funny looking. That's cool. He's probably a cool guy, though. Hey, he's got. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd use the word cool. He is a guy. We can say that.
He could rock it. He could rock the bald cap.
Okay, so let's think about this. We'll just combine collectively. So we have the Raiders, pretty bad franchise, and the Jets. right, for football. We'll skip NBA because, there's just not a lot of knowledge there. So we'll skip that org and we'll move on to Major League Baseball. What Major League Baseball team would you consider to be in an absolute rut fan base wise?
Gosh, dude. I don't know. It's been tough being a Royals fan the past couple of years. I'll say that.
Yeah, but you have a couple of World Series.
Yeah, it's true. But
at least one visit and one World Series.
I mean, it's playing athletics, right?
Ooh, the A's. Yeah. I mean, we're back to the Las Vegas area.
I mean, it's pretty easy to say that they're losing their team and they're terrible. So
yeah, their fan base is brutal.
I don't know. Yeah, it's either who do you feel bad for, the fans or
the Marlins? I would feel bad for Miami.
The Marlins are bad.
Are the Expos still a thing?
They are not, Cam.
Okay, well,
they've been gone for a while.
Yeah, they're pretty. Then they might take the cake.
That's like saying the Hartford Whalers are the worst or in real bad shape for the NHL.
Yeah, I mean, if you lose your team, then you're probably at the top already.
Yeah.
So me as a Rams guy in St. Louis.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
We're back on the NFL train.
Rams.
Yeah.
But we do have the Battlehawks, although Adrian Martinez made them look silly the other night. So can't forget about 2 a.m. He always finds his way, always creeps back into Nebraska conversation.
Yeah. Have you been to a Battlehawks game?
No, but I was planning on going to 2. Why did I miss that one? Carry the 2, probably something to do with the wedding. And then the second one, I was like, oh, this was about, 2 weeks ago when they played Birmingham. And I was like, I'm going to go watch Adrian Martinez in the flesh. That would be sick. And I don't know what my brain goes a million miles an hour sometimes, and I just overlook details. They weren't playing in St. Louis when the day came, and I'm like, I plan on buying tickets. And I'm like, wow, these tickets seem cheap. Well, yeah, they were cheap because they required a 14-hour drive. So I did not go to any yet. I won't be able to go to any this season because when
it's pretty much over, isn't it?
Yeah. But the UFL is cool. Like, let's be honest. It's really cool. And the championship game in St. Louis. You're looking at a June 16th, 2024 will be the UFL championship game in St. Louis. Is that the first weekend of the College World Series?
It's pretty close.
19th, yeah.
14 through 21 or something.
Yeah, yep. That's championship weekend, right?
No, championship weekend would be in the 20s.
The 21st, yeah, 21st.
So is this the first weekend?
I think so.
Look at us. Work on the fly. That's what we do.
Let's
We
just
inform.
look for everybody.
Yeah, you know what? No one else can Google, but we can. And if we're not already up in Omaha, like if I'm not out of St. Louis up in Omaha at that time, and Adrian Martinez is playing in that game, I will probably get a press pass.
Game 1 is the 16th.
So I may or may not get a press pass.
You might have to.
If 2 a.m. is there, I may make a late trip up to the College World Series. But I have to figure out what team I'm going to select because for those that don't know, for the last 3 years, your boy Andrew has gone to a merchandise tent and purchased a team T-shirt. First year, it was Mississippi State in 2021 because their tagline was Oma Dogs. I thought that was sweet. The Oma Dogs ended up winning it all. Very next year, I was a huge Tim Elko fan. Don't ask me why. I didn't watch a lick of Ole Miss baseball for all 42 whatever games they played during the regular season. They were the worst team entering Omaha, but I just liked the stash. I went with my boy with the stash. Somehow, some way, Ole Miss wins it all. And then last year, I kind of took the chalk, but I went with LSU. Paul Skeens, Dylan Cruz, top 2 picks. We knew that was going to happen. They win it all. So if anybody wants to ride my College World Series champion this year, I would highly recommend it. And I know David is highly into
Not gambling advice, but probably bet with Andrew this year.
3 for 3. I mean, at some point, At some point, I got to take the monkey off the back and let somebody else play, but I'm not going to yet.
Keep going with it. As long as you can, keep going with it.
But there are some miserable fan bases out. The Cubs, I would say, are a miserable fan base, even though they won the World Series. I mean, 108 years. I mean, that's just tough.
That's tough.
That's really tough. But gosh, it's so difficult to really figure out what's a miserable fan base in terms of longevity, because so many teams can scrape their way into a playoff spot. And then are they finally taken out of the conversation of miserable fan base?
And everybody's got their own definition of miserable, like whether that be just not losing a game, like you lose all these games, or you can't ever make a kick, or, you know, whatever it may be. Everybody's got their own miserable fan base, or you have them all. You just are terrible. So.
I mean, the Buffalo Sabres in the NHL, that's a pretty bad team. That's a really bad group. They got rid of Ryan O'Reilly and went downhill after that. But I'm seeing so many Detroit Lions on this list. And, you know, for one, the Detroit Lions went pretty far last season, for those that didn't watch the NFL. And before that, they were in the play, or they were one spot out of the playoffs in Dan Campbell's first season. You can't tell me that a Detroit Lions, like, they're a miserable fan base anymore. I don't care if they were the only team in football to have a fat 0 in the win column.
Yeah.
That's over.
Yeah.
You're not miserable.
NFL draft, how many Lions fans showed up there? Like, holy crap.
When Nebraska makes a bowl game, will you be a miserable fan base? No, probably not. What you could be is an obnoxious fan base, because if Nebraska can be really good again, I mean, they'll go down as the most obnoxious fan base.
The worst. You're the worst humans ever.
You won't want to surround yourself with Nebraska fans, and I love it.
No.
I love it. I mean, I'll be a people watcher till the day I die.
Look at Colorado. They were irrelevant, and now they won 4 games last year, and they are the most obnoxious people in the world.
Well, I mean, you can do that when you quadruple your win total from the year before.
Quadruple. Yeah. When you say it like that, it sounds pretty good.
So, Colorado, though, when they come to Nebraska this season, it's not even going to be close. It's not going to be close.
No.
The team is horrible.
No, they're no high school players coming in. Nothing.
They're running out of JVs. They're running out of JV squad. That's that.
Oh, that.
So, okay. We talk a lot of. I want to get off the negativity for a moment. We got to get off of the negativity. We got to get a little positive. What's the cure to a miserable fan base for one that hasn't had light at the end of the tunnel just yet? Ergo Nebraska. Ergo David.
Yeah, the cure. So I thought I had a cure this year with basketball. You know, I love my Nebraska basketball. You know, I feel like it's kind of like a little club. There's not as many, you know, obviously football is king around here, but at least there's somewhat of a split between the fan base. You got Creighton and you got Nebraska, but Nebraska basketball has never been good. Enter Keisei Tamanaga, my little great friend.
I was wondering where that sentence was finishing.
He changed my life. I don't know. It's something about this like 5'11" Japanese kid coming in and just raining threes on teams. I mean, that gets you juiced up. I mean, that changed my life. And I mean, if you want to take it back to kind of the last conversation, like, is my happiness cured? Is Nebraska a miserable fan base? Even though we made the NCAA tournament, we lost. But I still consider us a miserable fan base.
Well, you would have to make the run. You would have to go, have to make some type of headway in order for you to say we're not miserable anymore.
You could call it progress, but you know, you still fell off the cliff at the end.
You need a win. You got to find a way to get a win.
Yeah.
Man, it was tasting so good this year. You take down the number 1 team on your home court. You take down Wisconsin, and boom goes the dynamite. You're thinking, we got something brewing here. But you couldn't win a road game to save your life, to absolutely save your life.
You don't need it. Okay, yeah, I get it.
Then when you go on the road for the tournament, it didn't taste good. Didn't taste good leaving.
No, it didn't. And the 10-hour drive back from Memphis didn't taste good either.
Yeah. So tell me about because I was talking about this with my brother yesterday. You travel baseball can do that to you sometimes, and like you make it to the championship game. You have a 4-hour drive home, not let alone 10, but 4-hour drive home, and you just get smacked in the championship game. What that drive home is like, those were the worst things on the planet. The worst.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking.
What do? You just have
Nobody's talking. Everybody's afraid to talk.
Yeah.
Then you feel like you're going to bring up some type of topic, but it's going to be so irrelevant that no one's going to be engaged. Or you're going to bring up something about the game, and you're just going to set off the person to your left. What do you do?
Yeah.
Sulk?
I don't even. Yeah. I mean, you got to just. I think I cried a little bit on the way back. I'm not even going to lie. Like, what do? You just sit there and think about, what if this happened? What if this happened? What if this happened? And you can't do anything. Your eyes are on the road, and you're just thinking in your head, what the heck just happened?
Oh, man, those are the longest drives of your life.
Yep.
In moments like that. All right, David. Is Nebraska back, though? Like, can we say Nebraska's back yet?
Yeah, we could say that. Off-season champs.
For the
How many years in
a row?
Yeah, 20-plus years in a row. We win the off-season every year. And I try to find somebody else who won this off-season more than Nebraska.
All right, I brought this up to Avery in a previous show. Kahm looked at me sideways. Avery might have swallowed a bug or two as I'm talking. I don't know. That's at least what her facial expressions led me to believe. Nebraska, this season, the win total 7.5. 7.5 seems low. Does it not? It does in Andrew's head. David, at some point this season, am I crazy to tell you that Nebraska will be a top 10 team?
Yeah, I think you're crazy. I think you're nuts. I think you're nuts. I don't even know how that would happen.
Well, okay, let me break it down for you. I have it all planned out.
Yeah, if you got to live, read
It's a pretty sound plan too. I mean,
if you look at the first 7 games on Nebraska's schedule for me. As you're pulling it up, you have UTEP to lead things off. You have Colorado. Once again, these are both home games, I believe, unless Northern Iowa's a home game. I may be mixing up the non-con games, but you have UTEP, you have Colorado, you have Northern Iowa, right? Feel pretty good about those 3 games.
You'd hope.
Am I right or am I right?
You're right.
Feel pretty good. You feel pretty good about these 3 games.
No, I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Then you're hit with Illinois. Illinois has a lower win total projected than Nebraska. You're then hit with Purdue, one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. You're then hit with Rutgers, who I think could be pretty good because they always somehow, some way find a way to keep a game close. But it's still not good enough to beat Nebraska this season. So now you go into Indiana. Indiana, also not a very good football team. How many games did I just read off there, David?
7.
7 games. 7-0, you're going to see Nebraska in the top 10. Will they stay in the top 10 once they get to Ohio State? I didn't make that claim. I didn't.
Well, you're literally just creating 2016 again. Like, that's exactly what's happening here. 7-0. Then you meet Ohio State and get whooped.
Don't get mad. 7 wins gets you a bowl game, David.
Yeah.
Gets you a bowl game. Wisconsin has a lower win total than Nebraska this year. Vegas knows more than we know. We all know it's rigged. The whole thing's rigged. We just don't want to ever believe it.
Yeah, the script. Only matter of time.
Yep. And nowadays you're going to see. It's not going to be a Heisman Trophy for Dylan Raiola, although those plus 5,000 odds are juicy. Wisconsin isn't going to get it done this year. They're not at home. Nebraska's at home. And then Iowa, are you kidding me? Iowa, we're going to really talk about Iowa, who just lost the best offensive coordinator in all of football? We're really going to talk about Iowa being incredible this season? I don't think so. David, this team is winning 9 games, and they're stealing one against UCLA to win 10.
Ooh. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll buy in. I don't know, man. It's see,
how do your juices feel
this
now?
conversation is what I try to avoid in the off season.
Heck
So I
no.
feel
Heck no.
worse later on.
Heck no. We're not looking for rational people. That's not why we're doing this show. I am sparking
Okay,
a
I'll buy
nice.
in. You want me to buy in? You want me to buy in right
You
now?
should see the recipe that I have built in my stew brewing off to the left here is tasty. We talked about tasty things
Send me a bowl.
for Nebraska basketball. I will. Everybody's going to taste the love of the head chef Matt Rule, and possibly his sous chef Dylan Raiola. Mark it down.
I'll write it down right now.
Yep.
Andrew says 7-0 to start season.
All right, David. Now tell me.
We'll revisit this.
Not you keeping a receipt, right?
Yeah. We'll come back to this.
What do you think? Not about what I just said, because obviously I'm already those vibes are too contagious for me. I'm pushing them back.
Okay.
But I want to know what your thoughts are on this. I already know Cam's thoughts. He thinks I'm a god, but
I wouldn't go that far.
See, 3-0.
Goddess.
Totally possible. 3-0 is possible. UTEP.
3-0 is possible. That's how this conversation starts out.
That's possible. Yeah. Okay. If I actually break it. Okay. Colorado is going to be 0-1 when they come to Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
North Dakota State. Bad idea. Bad idea for Dion. Schedule that game. Northern Iowa. I don't know much about them lately. Okay. 3-0. Illinois. They're pretty bad this year. Even though, see, now you want to make you think about it. Nebraska does not have a good track record against the Illini over the past couple of years. It's always kind of a weird game that they seem to drop. So
Not last year.
no, not last year. That's one of my toss-up games. Okay, they're 4-0. Now let's get to Purdue. We're 5-0. Rutgers. Okay, we're 7-0. I'm in.
Yes, he's bought in. He's bought in. You can't.
Yeah,
argue
we're
it.
7-0. Okay, I see where you're coming from now. It's hard to argue against it.
Dylan Raiola is so good. Like, he's really good, guys. He's really good. Like, all jokes aside, Dylan Raiola throws a football better than any freshman quarterback I've seen in the Big Ten West, which is no longer.
I mean, there's not much competition there then. Yeah. Where are you pulling from? Oh, yeah. What do you comparing him to Big Ten West QBs?
Hey, he throws a really good football, though. This guy would start at a majority of top-tier schools next year.
Yes.
He would. In the fall, I'm not saying he's going to be the starter at Georgia. I'm not saying he would be the starter at Ohio State, but with that quarterback room, I think he should be. USC's got 5 stars. Who knows where that would end up? But a 5-star against a 5-star, there's a lot that I would buy into with Dylan Raiola that I would be hesitant to buy into with other 5-star quarterbacks.
Yes.
And really the first thing here, and I know he's Nebraska's guy. I really do. So there's bias. This comes from a standpoint of biasness, but the workouts that he does, the people that he surrounds himself with, not just outside of football, but internally, going to work out with Patrick Mahomes. You don't just accidentally get an invite by Patrick Mahomes to go work with him.
Yeah.
The mannerisms that he's picked up over the course in time, playing with Patrick Mahomes, just playing at different spots. You know, a lot of people knocked him for going to like 3 different high schools when he was going into his senior year. How about the fact, how about we look past he couldn't commit to one and just look at he won at all 3 stops.
Yep.
All he did was win football games, and he showed that he could do it anywhere.
Yeah, it's not like he's jumping around and committing to bad schools either. Every school he committed to was a top-tier program.
It's a top 5 program.
Yeah. So
it's a school that's won a national title in the last 10 years.
Yep. I agree with you there. Yeah, I don't know.
So David, mark it down underneath my point. David thinks 7-0.
Okay, we're all.
All right, David. David, I joked around with you a lot throughout this show, and a lot at the beginning. But I got to figure out how to get more out of David Schumacher. I got to find a way to. You're welcome. I have to find a way to learn more about you. Peel back the onion, per se, because I do think that David's one of the funniest people on our team, but there's not a lot of people that get to see that. I get to see it in action a little bit, but I'd like to see a little bit more. What are some of your claim to fame? Like, what makes David David? Like, what is something cool you can do?
Dang it, Andrew.
Like, can you do magic?
I can't do magic. I mean, what is this? The little. That doesn't work.
There he goes. There he goes. Yep.
You got good on the camera.
It does look pretty good.
Right. Yeah. There's my magic trick.
Mm-hmm.
I can. Let's see.
Can you play an instrument?
I can't play an instrument. I'm not. My family is not musically gifted at all. That goes back generations. I couldn't tell you a single human in the Schumacher generation.
David's like, yeah, back when my great grandfather was.
Yeah, he played a heck of a good flute.
He was a pretty good bootlegger, and when we went down to this speakeasy, he would stand next to the piano, but he would never tickle the ivories.
You know what you just said?
Can you juggle?
Yeah.
Can you juggle?
I can't juggle either. See, now, you know what you're doing right now? Now I am looking less cool.
No, I don't think so. I'm really just trying to figure out what you are like.
If we
like,
would
what
do,
things can make you cool?
If we would do a dang race around here, I know Anna and a B keeps saying how fast she is, and she can beat
She's
anybody.
not beating me. She's not beating me.
We just need to figure out. Everybody has to race at some point because this talk has been going on ever since I've been here.
Yeah, she thinks she's going to beat me in the race. I said I'll give you track spikes and I'll still beat you. It's not happening. She's not beating me in a race.
How far is it?
I think we're only running like 100.
I think 100's fine.
I'm winning a sprint. I'm winning a 200. Now I may blow out once I hit that finish line.
But if you won, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. If we're going distance, she may have me. But I think AB's a sprinter.
I guess I could pull, and I'm sorry, Mike. Well, Mike was talking big smack in the office one day about how he can do all these push-ups, and he beat everybody in a wrestling match.
Wait. Mike Sauter?
Mike Sauter.
With a big head?
Mike Sauter. No.
Not him. We're not talking about Mike Sauter.
No, yeah. I just want to be known that he was talking big smack, and we did a little push-up contest. I did beat Mike. I guess that one I should probably put on big letters on my door. I beat Mike Sauter in a push-up contest. I want everybody to know that.
That would drive him crazy.
That would. And he might get upset for me even bringing that up.
Like, talk about like the stab wounds that he would be feeling every time he walked by your door.
Oh, yeah. That's probably my big one, at least for everybody around here's sake. Yeah, I can use that for a long time.
Mike Sauter, though, really good at his job.
Great at his job. Nobody's
really good at his job. He has a confidence issue, like me. I'll own that. I can see that in people because I have it myself. It's this weird thing where you just think you can do things better than other people, and then you get humbled quickly. Maybe like, hey, I can hit a couple of softballs off of Olivia Farrell, former Nebraska D1 softball pitcher. That didn't go well for me. I can beat some D1 soccer players in a PK competition. Didn't go well for me. But you know what, Cam? One of these days, Andrew will sit at the top of the mountain and think, I made it. I haven't peaked yet. I have yet to peak, and I'm waiting for that moment. Anna, Avery, I don't know who else may say I peaked in high school. Nope. You're seeing just the beginning. Yeah.
You're still climbing the mountain peak.
I am. Just like Mount Everest. I'm stepping over dead bodies once I make my way to the top.
You'll get there. It might be a hard fall down, but it's fun on the way up.
It is fun on the way up. I just have to have a good what are they, carabiners, or is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm
little hooks that you tie your hooks with.
Yes. Is that what a carabiner is?
That is the term.
I know things somewhat. I know, David, what is your claim to fame? Give me one thing other than magic.
Well, I just told you I beat Mike. That should be good enough, huh?
Is that good enough for Kahm?
I don't know.
I mean, that's something.
Okay, give me before we go. Everybody has one special talent. Like, think about it when you're doing icebreakers. We talked about high school. Maybe you're doing like you're entering college, your fraternity. What is your special talent?
Oh man, dude.
Like for me, I played piano for 12 years. So. And the best part is I can't even read music. So funny story for you. My piano teacher would always sit right next to me, right? So like she's playing over here. I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing. That happened most of the time. I couldn't read music. So I would sit down for a 30-minute lesson with her weekly, and she would expect me to know the songs that she, made my homework for that past week. And I'm like trying to start it, and she's like, "Oh no, it starts like this." Well, I can't really what's it called, play by ear, but I can memorize hands. So like I would memorize what her fingers were doing and just bring it down an octave, and then play based on what it should sound like. So it's kind of like playing by ear, but it's not like I can listen to a Post Malone song and be like, I can turn that into piano.
You got mimicry. You can mimic.
I you know what, man? I'm a mimicky guy.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't grow. How about this? I can't grow a head of hair, but I can grow a beard. All right. I think I can grow.
Show me the head. Show me the head.
Full beard.
Bend. I was about to say bend over, but like bend down.
Doesn't me see that?
Yeah, there it is. You can grow a head of hair.
The world knows. Yeah, this should come off.
Got more than I do. So
This should come off pretty soon. Yeah.
Kahm, how do you style your hair?
Like this.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
Kahm, what's your fun fact before we go?
I play saxophone.
Oh, we can start a band. David, you shocked me as somebody that can sing the blues. This could work.
Well, yeah. So we got a pianist, we got a saxophonist, and you got a bluesy voice. I think we could do this. Let's start a trio, boys.
Yeah, let's go.
Take it on the road.
I can hit those lows, I guess.
Yeah, David, give me one line of Frank Sinatra for me. Give me an under my skin. Come on.
Under my skin, under my heart.
We'll work on it.
Let's delete that.
No, that's going to be the clip. We're sending that
out. David Schumacher joins the show today. We'll get more out of David as the year builds up to Nebraska football. He does a lot, though, for the team, and I want to give him a special shout-out here. Big behind-the-scenes guy. So just like Kyle Byers and his content creation, David does a lot on the graphics side, a lot on the shooting side as well. But he is behind the scenes, behind the camera, doing all the work that makes people like me look good sometimes. Other times, he'll make other members of our team look better than me. But David does a great job. So, David, I'm going to tip my cap to you. Kam's going to tip the back of his cap to you. And David's going to show us his comb over. And I don't understand this lack of hair thing. You absolutely have hair. So I think you were just copping out with something. And that's how we will draw the line for today's show. David, again, thank you. For Kahm Broham, David Schumacher, I'm Andrew Rogers. Another episode of Rogers Rules.